Welcome to On the Way to School, your 6-minute daily boost for educators and administrators. I'm Christopher S. Dennis, and today, let's elevate our journey together. Hello and good morning. Welcome to the ride on the way to school. I hope you're having a great morning. It's still a little warm out here in California, not gonna lie. I'm trying to figure out, am I gonna wear this shirt? Am I gonna wear a fall work shirt to school today, or am I gonna wear short sleeves? And guess what won out? I'm in the whole button up, folks. It's back. No more floral shirts. It's back to the school routine, but it's warm. So we have to roll these sleeves up at some point. But if you know, you know. It's like the school wardrobe definitely signifies a whole different wave of we're back. So anyway, hopefully your wardrobe is still representing summer the best you can as you roll into it. I know if you're in the classroom, you got to have all kind of comfort. So today I want to talk a little bit about listening. And many people feel like they are a really good listener when it comes to the problems of their peers or their friends, and they give really good advice. But we probably should talk about what it's like to listen when you are in this professional atmosphere of colleagues that are both, next to you and people you report to or people you manage. And I may have mentioned this in a previous episode, but I really wanted to focus on and emphasize just really 2 points about this. And it comes from Jeff Wetzler's book called Ask. It's an approach on how you can build essentially better teams, but it's about this next level kind of a listening approach to just asking better questions, So if you haven't checked out that book, you should definitely check it out. It's called Ask, Tap into the Hidden Wisdom of People Around You for Unexpected Breakthroughs in Leadership in Life. And it was the summer read we did for our strategic planning group at school. And it was really helpful for us to use it to think about how to think strategically, but also it really was a good opportunity to help bring us closer as a group. But there were 2 things in chapter 2 that really stood out to me that I like to emphasize. And again, they have to do with listening. So the first point is people know when you don't want to hear what they have to say. And the second point is people are judging if they're going to withhold information from you based on how you've reacted in the past. Okay. So there was a dynamic I had in one of my offices in the past where me and this colleague would kind of talk around each other. We wouldn't necessarily get to any type of substance. We wouldn't sit down. We wouldn't spend time in a space together because for whatever reason, we just didn't want to do that work. And I think at a level, maybe I felt threatened by their leadership or didn't appreciate their leadership. Maybe the feeling was mutual, but for some reason, we never gave each other the opportunity to have that clear the air conversation. So as we would share information, it would be very brief. We would talk past each other and nothing really got accomplished until one day we were in a presentation to the faculty and a faculty member asked a question that was on our hot sheet. It was like, hey, if the questions get into this space, we're going to defer. We're not going to spend the time answering them because, this is, we don't have all the answers for this and we don't want to spend time there. And I think sometimes administratively in different places, you have to have those kind of understandings. But that wasn't a mutual understanding. It was more so that this person felt like they didn't want to have to answer the question because they felt like it was, coming down their street. So anyway, we take the question, and it's fine. Someone on the panel answers it. And so then the colleague gives me a signal to close out or wrap it up. But we had a little time left. So I'm like, hey, let's take another one. And the next question was even worse than the first one. So it was really on the hot sheet. But we had to navigate through the question and get to the answer and eventually closed out. So my colleague came by and let me know, like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Don't do that again. And, this was back in the days where I'd probably react a little more emotionally than I would now. But when he told me don't do that, I I took offense and I said, hold on, wait, like, you don't get to tell me what I do and don't do. And I did not necessarily say it in that corporate tone, but it was an opportunity for us to have a practical conversation about our own boundaries and how we both like to operate. And it came through a little bit of turmoil, but again, it all boiled down to we didn't necessarily hear what the other person had to say. And we had been operating that way for a long time. And that disconnect was visible to other people. So while we thought our little standoff, our little beef was fine, everybody else saw it. Everybody knew that these two guys aren't getting along, and we'll let them have their little spat. So being a better listener is also acknowledging, how are you giving off the energy that you don't care what somebody has to say? And how is that disrupting the work? What can we do about that? So one, I try to be a little bit more self-aware about what's going on within me, and try to make sure I'm focusing on the work and I'm not taking things personal. After that moment, this colleague and I were able to actually open up the air, and we got much closer, and it was easier to interact because we actually gave each other the space that we were looking for, and acknowledge like, hey, like, you've got some stuff that's been helpful, and you've got some stuff that's been helpful too. So at the end of the day, as one of my kids would say, it was a big nothing burger that got in the way. Right. But we each knew when we didn't want to hear what the other had to say. The last part is people will observe how you reacted in the past, and they'll be less likely to share information if they know that you are likely to fall apart if you give them the information. So when you hear things, one of my old deans when I worked at Bowdoin, Tim Foster, would say like, hey, no reaction, nothing is a surprise. So react accordingly. Like, nothing should surprise you. You should not be overreacting or flying off the handle. Just pay attention, take it all in. And over time, all of these instances will replicate themselves. So react in a general, consistent tone so that folks know that they can bring things to you. Because as the leader, you have to be able to be calm in the storm. So, on the way to school, just think about, how are you giving off the essence of that you want to hear what people want to say, and that you're able to receive what they share with you. Okay. So if you've reacted and you've flown off the handle, or you're territorial, folks know that, and they're going to want to, keep some information from you. So, all right, that's it. Me and my long sleeves are going to go to work today in 80 degrees. So hopefully you have a great day on the way to school.